Hi guys, so this is the first video of this channel. I am going to go off script. Actually, I didn't write any script. I just wanted to make this video to introduce the channel. We're going to be talking mostly about exercise, a little bit about some alcohol, some drinks, and a little bit about philosophy as well. But the first video I think I want to do on lifting, because that's something I've decided to take seriously again this year. And I've changed my program recently to the one that I'm on right now, and I just want to share it with you guys because I think it's very effective, and if anything, what I'm gonna say in this video might be helpful to you because it was helpful to me. All right, anyways, let's get straight to the point. I've been doing basically one set of several exercises for a particular body part or particular body parts on different days. So the current split is on Mondays I do legs, on Tuesdays I do chest and biceps, on Wednesdays a rest day, optional high intensity interval training. On Thursday will be back and rear delts, and on Friday it will be shoulders and triceps. I think a lot of you who have, well, for those of you who follow Dorian Yates, Mike Mentzer, and people in that sphere would recognize that this is basically Dorian Yates' training program, and the philosophy behind it, which is just one set, is key in this program that I'm doing, and it's been working quite well, to be fair. I've been seeing quite a bit of improvement in terms of size, and also I feel like I'm losing quite a bit of body fat. I think that's more the body fat part, that's more because I've been tracking my food more strictly the past few weeks. But yeah, the lifting itself, it's been noticeable, the changes in muscle fiber and also the thickness of the muscle. And I feel like I want to just dive deeper. Of course, you can find a lot of details on the actual programs, like Dorian Yates' actual program is available on YouTube. There are so many videos on it, but I just want to pick out the details that I apply myself. So the first thing is warm-up. The warm-up, I don't really do as much as Dorian Yates or maybe Mike Mentzer would do. I think for Dorian Yates, he would like to do maybe 8 to 10 reps. I basically do maybe 5, sometimes as low as 2, and sometimes 6. I don't really go that high, but what I try to do during the warm-up is I try to make sure I prime my 3 systems. So the first is the muscular system, the second is the nervous system, and the third is the skeletal system. And let's start with the skeletal system. I feel like if you do fewer reps and pay close attention to how your joints stack up in that particular movement, it will help your body get ready to align your skeletal structure to support that movement. I think the best example would be any kind of squatting movement. If you just warm up for squatting by squatting and pay attention to how your knee joints, how your the bones in your legs, your tibia, your femur, all those good stuff. I don't know, I can't remember the names of the bones in the legs, but essentially thinking about how the bones in your legs and also your back should operate. Basically, it should be stacked on top of each other. There shouldn't really be an angle. And that's to make sure that you have maximum power output and also keep you from getting injured. So that's the skeletal system that I think of during the warm-up. The second one that I mentioned was the nervous system. What I try to do is I try to do the concentric portion of the lift. So the up part in most movements. So in case of the curl, it would be this part. I try to do it fast, and then I try to drop down slow. Of course, the dropping down slow, the eccentric portion of the lift will cause more muscle damage and give you a lot more growth. But the concentric, I really try to explode with good form so that my nervous system is ready, because I realize sometimes when I can't lift that well, it's not so much that my muscles are not strong enough. I feel like it's simply down to the fact that my body's not really awake yet. So my nervous system is not firing properly. So that's the second thing I think of when I'm warming up. And then the final thing is the muscular system. I think by going down slow on the negative already helps with the warming up of the muscular system. I think if you just go through the motion without paying attention to the downward movements or the eccentric portion of the lift, you'll not be able to maximize your muscular system in terms of warming it up for the main set. So basically, those are the three components of the warm-up that I really think about. And it's been helping quite a lot. Okay, so after the warm-up, we move on to the one set, right? So the warm-up was the first topic that I wanted to talk about. The one set is the second and probably the last thing I want to talk about in this video, just to keep it short. I'm actually out of breath because, well, obviously I need to improve on my cardiovascular fitness, but also because I just finished the leg workout this morning and I'm so out of breath. It was crazy. Why it was crazy? Why was it crazy? Let me tell you, because it's basically going to be explained in this part about the one set, the main working set, the one set. Okay, with the one set, I don't know if Dorian Yates prescribe any kind of percentage for you to aim for each lift, and I'm not sure, but what I do is I try to go as heavy as I can, knowing that I'll be able to hit that weight for 10 to 12 reps, or at least more than 10 reps. The reason being is because I don't want to go too heavy for too low of a rep. I don't want to go too heavy and do too few reps, because that, even though that might be good in terms of like a stimulus, a muscle growth stimulus, I think the risk to benefit ratio is kind of unbalanced. You get more risk. So that's what I try to do. So I pick a weight knowing that I could do 10. That's the first step of the one set, right? The second step is actually doing it. And when I do it, I had to change my mindset. Previously in programs prior, and I think, to be honest, in most of my training leading up to this point in my life, I've been training seriously since my bachelor's degree, so that's maybe 7 years ago. So since that time, I haven't really pushed it during my working set. And the thing that changed, or how I changed my mindset getting into this style of training, or this just one set style of training, is that I trick myself. So when I'm doing the weights, I focus on one rep at a time. And when I get to the point where it really hurts and I feel like I can't do any more, I just try to just go one more. Not to use Nick Bare's famous saying, go one more, but essentially what I try to do is just to trick myself to just do another rep and focus on one rep at a time, good quality reps, and I just redline it. This is important. So the exercises I choose allow me to redline the set safely. For example, I did machine squats today. I would never redline a barbell back squat with free weights. That's just way too risky, because one misstep or one wrong move, then you're just injured. The machine squat, when I fail, I basically just sit back down deep into the squat and I can get myself out of the machine. So that's the second part. So basically think about each rep at a time, focusing on great technique and tricking yourself to do one more after the previous one or the current one. and very important, which is to select an exercise that is most conducive to a successful red line. So a successful muscular failure. Yeah, that's kind of a way to think about it. So you should reach muscular failure in the most successful and safe way, meaning that there's no risk of injury. You can get out of that movement by yourself. If not, the exercise should be conducive to a spot, and you should have a spot if you need. And yeah, let's keep it there. The video is gonna be, well, it's already 10 minutes something. Most of my videos will be in this format. It'll just be me talking, because I think I'll be able to stick to that the most. I'll be most consistent with this style of content. I don't think I'll film myself working out because it's a bit weird, and also for me, and also because I don't think I can have the mental capacity to film when I train really hard. I can barely breathe after a really hard set of squats. So yeah, some things to think about. So to recap, we talked about the warm-up, how focusing on the muscular system, nervous system, and skeletal system are important to warming up and having a good lift. And I gave specific examples of how to do those things. And the second portion is a not a deep dive, but a step into the conversation about the working set, the one single working set per exercise for each day. And we talked about the idea of tricking yourself to do one more. Use whatever tricks, mental tricks you need. You can go hardcore and just like bully yourself mentally, or you just be realistic and just think about doing one more and focus on great technique every time. And then the second portion, which is not really talked about often, but I think should be talked about more, is to select exercises that will be very conducive for you to fail safely at. That way, you can actually go to failure physically, and also in your mind, it'll be easier for you to push to that red line or red zone. No, because you know in your subconscious that even if you fail, there's very close to zero chance of you injuring yourself. So these are some thoughts. I think tomorrow will be a video on a maybe different topic, maybe something similar. But yeah, I will try to be consistent, and I'll see where this journey takes me. Thanks, guys.